Hi, this is Julie Hart, and you're listening to Pipebomb Radio, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Howdy, howdy, everyone. This is Paul London, the Intrepid Traveler, and you are listening to Pipebomb Radio.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and certified DDP yoga instructor Stevie Richards telling you that you're listening to Pipebomb Radio.
This is the King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett, the founder and CEO of Global Force Wrestling, and you're listening to Pipebomb Radio.
I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow.
You're listening to Pipebomb Radio with your host, the founder, Felix Olmedo, and the Godfather, Nate Milton.
Welcome to the new age. Radioactive.
Welcome, everybody, to Pipebomb Radio tonight. I am running a little solo, but we'll be joined by Austin later tonight. Ay, caramba. Nate is off on assignment, taking care of some business, and, well, our guest tonight is returning to the show after a 2-year absence. A lot has happened for him in the last 2 years, a lot of changes, a lot of things going on, and it's going to be fun to catch up and see what he's been up to, as this time of year tends to be one of his favorite times of year, as you guys heard in his prior interview with us a couple of years ago. He is a big horror movie icon fan, excuse me. He is wrestling superstar Vinny Marseglia, and I still feel like I slaughter the name when I say it. He should be joining us here in just a moment to talk about what he's been up to, what he's doing these days, everything in between. And, of course, Austin will be joining us later in the show tonight to break down Monday Night Raw. Feel free to call in after our interview tonight and give your opinion on Monday Night Raw. What are you guys looking forward to? What did you guys think of the live from Madison Square Garden? They did hype it pretty well. And some would say that it was actually a better show than Raw last week. Not this past Monday, but the Monday prior. And I have to say, I almost kind of agree. You know, I watched it myself. I caught it later, of course. I caught it actually yesterday while I was I forget what I was doing, but I was watching it anyways, and it was a pretty good show. I mean, Madison Square Garden, New York people, there's nothing like New York fans. Let's just put it that way. New York fans are passionate, vocal, and if they like you, they love you. If they hate you, I wouldn't want to be you. But, yeah, with the Halloween season, the weather's going to get a little chilly. And we'll have definitely, it's my favorite time of year. Let's put it this way. When the weather changes, the leaves turn brown, it gets colder. It's a great time of year for me. It's my favorite time. I get away from the heat. And I mean, that's not as bad as Austin's or even Nate's weather, as it tends to get sticky hot over there with them. But, California does pretty good, I guess you could say. That being said, we will see if our good friend Jenny will be calling in. If not, I'll just go ahead and start breaking down Monday Night Raw in the next few minutes. He is aware that the show is supposed to go on tonight, so we'll just keep going. We've got some big plans coming up for the month of October. A very, very big show coming up. As I mentioned last week, a very big show. 3 big names in the wrestling business that are doing some amazing things. I call them, well, let's just say I call them the trainer of champions. And I've referred to that for many people, but you can't get no better than these 3 guys. And I'll tell you more about them as the show goes on. But as far as our guest, Vinny Marseglia, well, he actually joined us when we had Christopher Daniels on the show. We did a doubleheader, if you will. We had Mr. Daniels on, and we had Vinny, and we had an incredible show. You know, he was so much fun to talk to. His passion about just life and wrestling and the horror genre was incredible. We told him we'd have him back, and lo and behold, here we are. As far as anything else goes, Hell in a Cell comes up later this month. We will be doing our special preview show in a couple weeks. Let's see who we can bring in here to break down the pay-per-view. But beginning to wonder if our guest is going to actually call in. Because at this point, I'm unsure. I'm unsure if he's going to make it, but we'll see. We can always improvise. We do the best at improvising, so. Let's see. It's so much easier when you have people to bounce things off of. So that helped me when I have to say that Austin will be joining us, but at least it's some other opinion other than mine, because otherwise you'll have me talking for an hour, and really, who wants that, right? But worst case scenario, let's just go ahead and just talk about what's to come. I guess we can go ahead and mention what's to come on the show next week and later this week. Not Your Mama's radio show this Thursday night. The boys are back. They had some traveling issues, which means they had to postpone the show in the meantime, which it happens. These Oscar and Mo are traveling quite a bit right now, and I know Oscar with his booking agent Steve Stasiak has him going to these different shows, and so he's making appearances. He's around, and I know they just had a Legends show out in New Jersey. So I imagine that was a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear more about that. But the guests of honor on Thursday's show are scheduled to be WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov, and still expected to show up would be Cauliflower Alley Club member or participant. I'm not sure if he's a leader, a boss, he's not a president because that'd be Brian Blair. But nonetheless, his affiliations with the Cauliflower Alley is well known. He is Morgan Dollar. And he is still expected to join them. So that would make for an interesting show. That's Your Mama's radio show returning this Thursday night. And as far as what we have planned next week on Pipebomb Radio, all three men have been guests on the show before, some more than one occasion. But I figure, to have three great minds, trainers, wrestlers who've done pretty much every aspect of professional wrestling that you can think of on one show to talk about the state of the wrestling business now, with so many things that have gone on in the last several months, with the fan incidents where they tend to jump the rails and get in the ring and no fear of repercussion. Not to mention, why is it that this generation feels that they are owed much more than they're given? You train for 3 weeks, all of a sudden you're expected to be in the ring? I don't think so. Anyways, I'm straying away from the point. The point being is we will have three guests next week on one show. That's right. We've done a doubleheader. Well, we're going to do a tripleheader this time. Returning to the show, we have from the Texas Wrestling Academy, a Texas wrestling legend, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, returning to the show. We have, from the Monster Factory, legendary trainer, Danny Cage, returning to the show. And, of course, our very own, our good friend, Luke Hawks, who's come on many times. He's helped us with booking his talent on our show in the past. From Wildcat Entertainment, Wildcat Sports, however you want to refer to it. He is coming to the show, and, you can't get no better than that. Three great trainers in three different parts of the United States, all serving one purpose and all very, very opinionated. And when you put them three together in one show, one word can sum it up, and it will be explosive. Because these guys have never been one to sugarcoat their feelings on subjects. Why start now? And all I can say is, folks, buckle up because it's going to be one hell of a ride. It'll be a lot of fun to see what's going on. And as far as our guest goes, I'm guessing we may not have a guest. Oh, boy. Well, we may just have to improvise then, folks. We may just have to cut it down some until we can figure out if our guest is going to make it in or not. He is aware of the show tonight. He helped promote it. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens here in the meantime, but the show has to go on. So with that, we'll just start with the breakdown of Monday Night Raw. But, anyways, with the Monday Night Raw build-up, their focus has been a lot on the return of the Big Red Monster, the / Corporate Kane, the Divas division, and, well, it is the month of October. The Go to Hell tour is in full effect. Obviously, it started this past Saturday with Brock Lesnar. And he's going to be doing his Go to Hell tour with, obviously, he had Big Show this past Saturday. He is going to be on the Steve Austin broadcasts. Now, I've heard it say the 16th, but now I'm hearing the 19th. But he is going to be on the Steve Austin podcast, And it concludes at Hell in a Cell later this month against The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. This will be the final battle of this historic rivalry that some only mention, the WWE tends to only mention it being for the last 18 months, when those of us who've been watching for many years know this is a rivalry that's gone on since 2002. And, well, it is what it is, folks. That's all I can say about that. As far as the actual match itself, Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, I'm going to analyze that more as we get closer to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But as far as Monday Night Raw goes, here's my outlook on it. Here's my take on it. It wasn't a bad show. One could say Paul Heyman is the greatest manager of this generation because he's really the only manager. Zen culture has seemed to all but disappear. And Paul Heyman has in his words, he is so passionate about expressing how much his beast is going to dominate somebody. It's become almost a whirlwind of fan adulation, people loving Brock, which is always a strange thing because you never expect it, because Paul Heyman, well, let's be honest, they've been hated, and they relish it. And for them to be cheered almost like they're heroes, it is a little strange, I'll be honest with you. And he comes out and they're talking about what they did to Big Show, what they're going to do to The Undertaker, and what's going to happen on the Steve Austin podcast later this month. So we'll see where that goes. Will this be the final battle in favor of Brock? Will it be in favor of The Undertaker? Some would say obviously Brock, because he's got age and the fact that he's got that. He's beaten Undertaker at every turn, whereas the Dead Man has that one victory, but he's also got this legendary status, which I really don't think will be affected if he loses. So, since we've had to improvise and, well, just take part in doing this show, we will have to figure out what we're going to do with Mr. Marcelia, if he was going to make it in or not, or we'll just have to get him for another time. But in the meantime, I guess the band is back together again. One and only Austin James is back in the co-host seat. God help us all.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm the lead singer of this band that you just called, back together. You're probably the drummer, right? Or the guy that sets up everything.
Something like that.
I'm sure.
So what's the dealio, kid? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing absolutely great. How about you, Felix? It's great to hear your voice.
What puzzles me is that you don't come out with saying, I'm phenomenal. I'm just great. I'm just phenomenal.
I'm doing great, Felix. I really am doing great. And I just want to tell you again, just to say it one more time, it is so awesome to hear your voice. You sound rejuvenated. Doing that fitness thing every single day. I see your posts. It's truly inspirational.
I've inspired at least one person. I guess maybe mission accomplished. So.
Definitely.
I was just breaking down. Go ahead. You're saying.
You should be given a reward. You really should. I mean, I haven't seen anybody greater than you in quite some time. You're such a hard worker, dedicated. It's an understatement.
Well, I don't know where you've been looking, but I appreciate that. While Nate's on assignment, I was pretty puzzled and surprised to hear that you wanted to come back and fill his position again. So here we are, back together doing the things that we did when we started this, and breaking down Monday Night Raw. Obviously, you were listening. I was breaking down the whole Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman spiel that they did in the beginning of the show. And would you say, arguably or unarguably, would you say that Paul Heyman is the greatest manager of this generation?
I believe so. I don't think you doubt it right now.
He's got competition. But there's no other managers of this generation. I mean, obviously, prior there are some better, but I mean, he's really the real deal. Only the real deal Holyfield that's going on right now.
I mean, he has experience in so many more areas than just being a manager, you know. And some say he wasn't, you know, the businessman that he should have been, and that's been documented. But I mean, at the same time, Paul Heyman has managed some of the best in history, as well as, I mean, Brock Lesnar right now, the man who defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Felix, I thought you forgot about it. Had to mention it one more time. You know, he's the advocate. The one behind the one in 21-1. Who can get any better than that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if you can, but I do know this. The Undertaker, over the last 25 years, has established a legend status, has established a leader status, a point to where you could almost say Vince almost relies on him for some things as far as his input on things. So I really do feel, putting the accident aside, that what happened to him in the ring, that Undertaker would not have lost to anybody else but Brock. It was his choice. Not to mention it was more Vince's choice, but I do believe that Undertaker had a say in that. I can't believe that he doesn't. So I do believe he did. That aside, Hell in a Cell will finally put an end to this battle between these guys. And I know that WWE tends to like to make you think that the last 50 years didn't happen, or even for the last 13 years didn't happen. But they don't mention too much of the rivalry between these two that happened in 2002, let alone the Hell in a Cell match, which is an amazing match, that they had back in 2002 between the two at Hell in a Cell.
Well, the thing is, you have to understand, that was in 2002. I don't think anybody should go into Hell in a Cell in a couple of weeks on the WWE Network for $9.99 into thinking that they're going to see what they saw in 2002, because it's a whole different jungle, you know, and it's going to be, I mean, that's at least what I'm presuming it to be. It's not going to be as gory as it was, you know, back then.
No, of course not. Of course not. I mean, obviously they're in that no blood, and the head, they're protecting the head issues now, and yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar are two guys that really carry themselves. They're more alike than different. They carry themselves in a way that they demand respect, because, you know, they come in anytime they want to. You know, they have a very limited schedule, but when they come back, it holds so much weight because, you know, they're Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. You know, and I think if it wasn't for, I mean, I don't know if it would have been the same way if he wouldn't have been beaten Taker at WrestleMania 30. If it, you know, he would have been seen the same way as he is, you know, today. But I don't know, just the way he carries himself, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Hope you understand what I'm saying. These two are really alike than they are different.
I believe you. And I just had to bring to your attention, after last week's show, we had a Twitter follower send us a tweet, and here's what he said. Obviously, he sent us a tweet that Pipebomb Radio needs more of the Austin James. Your Austin James on the show. All the Authority and Seth Rollins talk is hilarious. So you got a fan out there.
Okay, what's this guy's name? Because I do not appreciate that. How is anything that I say about the Authority and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins hilarious. I don't get it.
Well,
I really don't get it. Some people are so rude, and I'm a positive person, right? I've been a positive person since day one, and people, I guess, don't see that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Felix, you look great today. And I didn't see you.
Okay. Well, thanks. And the guy's name is not necessarily his name. Oh, maybe it is his name. It's at Timmy Lee Stanley on Twitter. So he's a fan. And I thought that was pretty funny. Whereas others, they don't like you. So you got haters and you got followers. So, hey.
Well, you know what? All I got to say about that is this. They need to watch more than New Day. If they watch more than New Day, they're going to understand that positivity is key to a successful life. And if you don't have that, you're not going to have a successful life. And it's just that you can't have one without the other.
Hashtag booty.
Yes. You know,
I still don't get that.
Pirates do get their booty. That's why they're the leaders of the sea, right?
I guess. But,
I'm sure that's the booty you're talking about.
Well, I would have to ask Big E about that one. I don't know the answer to that.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
What did you think? We'll go away from Raw for a second. Did you happen to catch the live from MSG show this weekend?
Absolutely. Wouldn't have missed it. MSG, Madison Square Garden, speaks for itself.
What did you think?
I thought it was great. I see, you know, people really complain about a lot. I don't know why people just can't sit back and enjoy a show for what it is. You know, I think it was people. I can't go. I can't be that guy that watches the show and says, "Oh well, blah blah blah. This was bad. This was." No, you know what? They're there to entertain everybody, and I got to tell you, there were a lot of stuff that was entertaining to me. So I can't go and be complaining about something that I really enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? There were so many takeaways from that show.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this generation, and that's one of the biggest topics. That's one big topic that we're going to be addressing next week. And you have three of the most outspoken minds in wrestling, especially that come from these wrestling schools that have trained future world champions. Then you all I can say is, like I said before, it's going to be an explosive show. Some viewer discretion is advised. Let's just put it that way.
I know three of the leading professional wrestling trainers in the United States today. You know, even in the world today, Rudy Boy Gonzalez from Texas Wrestling Academy, Danny Cage from the Monster Factory, Luke Hawks from Wildcat Sports Entertainment in New Orleans. And I got to tell you, I mean, you remember a couple of years ago, Danny Cage definitely put me in my place. And you know what? That's, you know, I love Danny Cage. I respect him so much, you know, and it's going to be, if anybody hasn't seen that show with Danny Cage that we did a couple of years ago, it was incredible, and you can learn so much. I mean, not only from him, but I mean from Rudy Boy, who's been on a number of times, as well as Luke Hawks.
Yeah, they are guys that don't sugarcoat nothing, and
no, they don't. They have no room for sugar in their lives.
I'm sure you know that very well, Padawan.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have no room for sugar in their pockets. No doubt about it.
But the show itself, it was actually really good. I enjoyed it for what it was. And one thing I always will take with me from my time when I got to be in New York a few years ago, New York, just like Chicago, without a doubt, some of the most passionate vocal fans you'll ever be in the middle of. Very vocal. Like I said, if they love you, they're always going to love you. If they hate you, get the hell out of the ring, because they're going to throw things at you, they're going to boo you, they're going to hiss at you, they're going to scream at you. Then you're doing the job right. But that is New York and that is Chicago, two incredible places to be. MSG is one of my favorite places to have been, and hopefully they do more of these kind of shows again in the future. I think they will, because these actually come out pretty well.
And, you know, actually, to bring up a point that earlier today, I mean, we announced it, well, not really announced it, we kind of, basically today is actually the 80th birthday of former guest on Pipebomb Radio, Bruno Sammartino, the longest reigning WWE champion of all time. And, you know, he headlined at Madison Square Garden, I believe, over like 120 28 times, or even I think even more than that. If my memory serves me right,
187 times.
Yeah, I said that actually. I said that. Right?
Okay,
I said that definitely. Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, longest reigning WWE champion of all time. His birthday is today. Happy birthday, Bruno Sammartino. Still working out 7 days a week, and I mean, looking amazing.
Agreed. And we'll move on.
He reminds me of you. He reminds me of you, Felix. That working out, dedicating yourself, it's such a positive mindset, right? Oh my gosh,
that's
inspirational. Truly inspirational.
Are you trying to convince me, or are you trying to tell me?
No, you're the type of person that convinces yourself. You're dedicated. You are dedicated.
Okay.
You're the type of guy that has, dedicated for life on your coffee cup, just like the director of operations, Kane, has greatest director of operations on his coffee cup. So, I mean, you guys have something in common.
Yeah, we're both delusional, right?
Y'all are both great at what you do. No doubt.
What we're told. Anyways, we'll get to Kane and this whole kit and caboodle that he's got going on right now with the WWE champion. But again, the ongoing saga with the Divas continues. Obviously, with what happened at the MSG show this weekend, the team PCB they're cracking. They're unraveling. Obviously, Charlotte and Becky wanted to give Paige a taste of her own medicine by bailing on her, and she was not having it. And they're bringing Natty back into the mix of this. Now, could this distraction be something that will end up ultimately costing Charlotte her Divas title at Hell in a Cell as she takes on Nikki in the early match?
Well, I got to say this. If Charlotte doesn't expect Paige to be around the corner somewhere, I think she needs to really sit back and kind of see stuff that her dad did in the past.
Well, her dad didn't do very good. Well, her dad did okay with groups, but he was more of always the on his own time. I don't want to say loner because he was never alone.
I mean, you have to realize when you're the champion, you have a giant target on your back. Charlotte doesn't think that she has one. She has to be mistaken somewhere because Paige definitely has, her sights set on Charlotte as well as every single person in the Divas locker room.
Sure, I agree with that. And as far as what's going on with Paige, I like like I said last week, I like the keeping it where it's blurred between reality and fiction. Well, whatever is not true, when they kind of spill it like they did, like she did. But again, I still feel like it's almost like a pot shot at AJ and her quote unquote pipe bomb she did a few years ago on the Divas division. What do you think? I mean, there are similarities in the pipe bomb that they both dropped. They kept it real.
Yeah, I think it's two different people. I mean, you can't expect to keep on mentioning somebody that isn't there. AJ had her time, and she was awesome.
They did something that they did. They did this to prove a point that they're trying to distance themselves from CM Punk and from AJ Lee. And by doing that, obviously they've eliminated AJ Lee's record from, as being the longest reigning Divas champion. Don't be surprised if they end up getting their own champion, which I've got another point to prove here with this, but if Seth Rollins ends up holding it for longer than 434 days. But there is a speculation that Seth Rollins may be going to Death Valley at WrestleMania. Maybe visiting the Lord of Darkness.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that's safe. Yeah, I don't think that's safe right now.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. It's a really touchy subject.
They might be taking him out of the title
Undertaker. Like I said, the Undertaker is a magician, a satanic wizard that I have no clue why they even let a guy like him fight. Because wrestle. in a WWE ring. It's not fair. He isn't human, and I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I'm not even kidding you. Not even kidding you.
Well, that being said, that was just speculation that, everybody seems to think they know what's going on. So ultimately, we won't know until that time comes. I still hope, still praying that there is a chance that they give us the match that we've all wanted to see. And let it be done there. Now, I'm not saying that Sting and Taker are going to retire after WrestleMania next year, because nobody knows that until we get there. These two won't. I don't think they're going to retire after WrestleMania. But on the subject of WrestleMania travel packages go on sale this Tuesday. I still plan to see about getting one. May not be able to get the most extravagant, but as long as I can get my foot in the door and know that I will be there, I'm fine with that.
With a smile like yours, you're going to get the VIP package. That is the tip of the iceberg, With a smile like yours, you can get it.
I wish I could.
With a smile like yours, you can get it. You got to think positive. You got to start,
I mean, look at it this way. The trip I made to San Jose this year, I didn't have the best seats in the house, but I didn't care, because ultimately I got to do a lot of things that I didn't think I'd get to do. Obviously, getting to, I hooked up with Oscar at the WrestleCon and got to meet a lot of the great icons there that I've been waiting to meet. Obviously, with like Bobby the Brain Heenan, Eric Bischoff, Mick Foley, which I met him more than once, but I mean, he's still cool, and obviously with his daughter there too. And it was just more fun for me to be there. A little bit more expensive, I will say, but more fun for me to be there than to go to Access. I've done Access every year that I've gone to WrestleMania. The one time I didn't, I don't regret it. And what's funny is I had no idea, and I think I said this before, but I had no idea that Access was literally like right across the street from my hotel. I could have walked in, I didn't even know it. It is what it is. But in Texas, they've got so many different deals. And if you don't mind, I'd like to indulge our fans here, our listeners, and tell them a little bit about each of the packages real quick. Not necessarily go into detail. I won't do that. That's just too much. But I will say the different packages they have. They have the Texas Star package. They have the VIP package. They have the Platinum package. They have the Gold package. That's been one of my popular choices over the years. They have the Silver package, which I did this year for WrestleMania, this last year for 31. And a new one that they just announced, which is the Bronze package. It's to say, the only difference between the Bronze and all the other ones is the Bronze does not include a ticket to the Hall of Fame or a ticket to Raw. Every other one includes a ticket to Raw and the Hall of Fame. So, there you go. So their big one, obviously, is going to be that one where you get to have, obviously, your WrestleMania 32 ticket, Access ticket, NXT ticket. You get to have an exclusive reception with the WWE Superstars prior to the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Monday Night Raw. Do the Ranch Experience, which you get to join WWE legends during a fun-filled day at a Dallas ranch. Fans will get the opportunity to horseback ride, take roping lessons, receive line dancing lessons. Holy mother of God. This experience includes lunch and transportation, and that's supposed to be on Monday. Of course, round-trip transportation to and from the hotel to WrestleMania 32, and obviously 4-night accommodations in a nice hotel. Can't beat that, folks. They go on sale at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Go ahead, you were saying.
Yeah, well, I was mentioning, I was actually talking to my good friend Kanye last night, and we were text messaging about WrestleMania 31. He was excited to hear about the packages that are going to be available because he's definitely going to be there, and I'm going to be there right with him, right beside him, in our limo, our Escalade limo. So, no big deal. I just wanted to mention that. He's a nice guy.
If you say so.
You should have been there last Friday. Guy, so. Oh my gosh, Kim was dancing like you know her. Well, you probably don't know.
Did you get to meet Kanye's mother-in-law? I take that as a no.
Really? You mean Caitlin? Caitlin is an angel. Oh, my gosh. We were just talking about different marketing plans, about a potentially, month-to-month subscription box crate called the Cake Crate. For under $20 a month, you can be the new normal. And you know what? I want to be the new normal, too. Everybody. It's so exciting. Kate is a joy to be around, and until you are around her, I'm sure you've seen her show on E! I Am Kate. It's such an inspirational story.
If you say so. Anyways, getting back to Monday Night Raw. We got off the subject for a bit. Got the Divas division, which ultimately is going to unravel even more now that they're bringing Team Bad finally back into the picture. I was wondering if they ever would, because people are... Sasha Banks has got a huge fan base. And they're in Boston, of all places. Come on, how could you not include her? That being said, we'll move on out of the Divas division.
Wait, actually, before you move out of the Divas division, there's actually something really big happening tomorrow night on the WWE Network. NXT TakeOver Respect, which will be headlined for the first time ever by Sasha Banks and Bayley, the NXT Women's Champion, one-on-one in a 30-minute, I believe, Iron Women's match. 30-minute or 60 minutes? It's 60 minutes, sorry. 30 minutes? Okay,
Sure.
30 minutes. I was right the first time. 30-minute Iron Women's match for the first time ever. I'm so excited to see that. Besides that, the in-ring debut of, I believe they pronounce her name, Asuka, or William Regal says Asuka. That's how he pronounces it, but he pronounces everything differently. Asuka versus Dana Brooke. So I'm excited to see that happen, and I feel really bad for Dana Brooke. If you've ever seen anything that Asuka can do in the ring, you know that she has no problem kicking anybody's, facial features in. No problem at all.
Well, there you go. Obviously, they also debuted on the WWE Network, Rivals, featuring Trish Stratus and Rita. On the WWE
I cannot wait to watch
now,
that.
I didn't realize that I cannot believe that we're doing infomercials for the WWE Network. But that being said, we've obviously touched on the Divas enough. So, did I say that? We've talked about the Divas enough. Excuse me. I don't want to get nobody thinking the wrongest idea here. But moving on out of there, we have the issue with the New Day. The New Day have been stepping it up. I'm not going to lie. They've been stepping it up. They still tend to get hated. They still tend to get loved. But nonetheless, some people would want to take that horn and shove it up somewhere. Well, anyways, they don't like.
I don't know where we're getting that from.
Well, fans like them, fans hate them. It is what it is. But obviously, they've moved on out of the issues with the Dudley Boys, or have they? The Dudley Boys are still obviously in hot pursuits, getting tag team gold for the 10th time. But the New Day have their sights set on the bigger picture, maybe, by taking down John Cena and getting that United States title.
We have to keep in mind, last night on Raw, it was announced by Stephanie McMahon that the New Day will indeed be wrestling, going one-on-one with the Dudley Boys, not one-on-one. See, that's where I'm catching myself. The New Day will be giving their rematch to the Dudley Boys. Well, the Dudley Boys get their rematch against the New Day. Hell in a Cell, 2 weeks. Tag team title on the line again.
We get to definitely, we'll analyze that a little more further in our Highway to Hell, Hell in a Cell preview. I like that little topic there. It's better than the one I was going to go with. But we'll talk about that more with our Hell in a Cell preview coming up in a couple weeks.
Cute.
I thought so too. But I'm wondering how much further they're going to go with the Dudley Boys, because what's left for them to prove? They're definitely one of the most, as JVL said countless times, one of the most decorated tag teams in wrestling history, winning more titles than any tag team that I can imagine, including the Road Warriors, who are obviously definitely one of the more. So we're talking about tag teams out there. They've held good titles in different companies. as has
You have
the
to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind who Team 3D is. You know, the Deli Boys. They're the only tag team, the only human beings that I know in history that are actually 3D. Like nobody else is like that. There's no other superstar on the roster that comes out of your screen without glasses. And I have pretty bad vision, and it's insane when I watch them. Everything they do is just like, oh my gosh, you know, really brings me back. And, you know, I don't know, it's freaky. I'm almost thinking they're on that satanic taker level. There's three. How do they do that? Like, I need to go on one of those Bill Nye, one of my good friends, see what's going on.
Just like Jon Stewart is your good friend, right?
Oh my gosh, Jon Stewart. Great guy. He is such an inspirational philanthropist and visionary of children across the world.
You said so.
Kind of reminds me of me, you know?
Again, if you say so. Moving on. We're going to go ahead and jump into the craziness that is the WWE title picture.
You got a picture?
I don't know if we got a picture, but it got something. You know,
yeah,
we got...
You said you had a picture.
Shut up.
Send it to me.
I'm trying to prove a point.
You have my text number, my phone number?
Zip it. Now, we get Kane returning as Corporate Kane, but also the Demon Kane, but not so much. Okay, he obviously there is a split personality here. There's not two different people in this. It's one person. So don't get it confused, folks. Kane has come back, and whether this is his last run or not, only time will tell. But some were wishing that maybe Corporate Kane did not come back, and it actually was a big red monster. On the other hand, maybe Corporate Kane had some fans, and maybe they would have wished for the Monster Kane to stay away for an even longer period of time. I mean, he debuted in the mask. He returned with it, and obviously that was expected. But now he's been driving the WWE champion crazy, quote unquote crazy, I guess you could say, causing all kinds of controversy, having set to resort to sending anonymous emails to the HR director about Kane's stability and able to run Monday Night Raw, just being the director of operations. And it gets analyzed, and obviously she finds nothing wrong with it. Seth takes him
there's
out.
nothing wrong with him. I don't know what you're talking about.
Seth takes Kane out, or so he thought, only to have the big red monster return and take him out. But that's not all. Obviously, they had Kane. They had the whole MSG thing, and Kane paid the champion a visit. Didn't he?
Really? Wow, you have a great imagination.
Really? That's what I've been told.
I didn't see that.
Of course, there's also Kane has also pulled Seth down to hell. So yeah, you could say he's been a royal pain in Seth's rear end. Until it finally came to a head, and Stephanie McMahon has finally decided to put an end to this once and for all. Kane, the Monster Kane, will take on WWE Champion Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. It's not in a Hell in a Cell match, but at Hell in a Cell. And if Monster Kane loses, Director Kane is done.
That isn't fair. Objection. That isn't fair.
Do you know what McMahon that is? Do you know what McMahon that is? I sure don't remember.
That's not
Vince
fair. You know what?
No.
I'm not going to take that. That's not happening. You know me and the authority and everything with that. I know them like the back of my hand. That wasn't fair. What just happened, because Corporate Kane is busy being a great director of operations. You see every single week. I mean, him just treating everybody like sweet tea. Honest to God. And right now he's working on his first self-help book, you know, and it just, I don't understand where Stephanie gets the notion that he has anything relating to the Demon Kane. Like, I don't understand that. It just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Kane, last week on SmackDown, Seth Rollins was in a match against the Dudley Boys with the New Day. So it was Seth Rollins and the New Day versus the Dudley Boys and the Demon Kane. Look, let me tell you something. Kane, or Corporate Kane, was at ringside for the match until the New Day, you know, accidentally pushed him down, you know, and he hurt his leg. So you know he was already hurting since the stuff that happened on the past week on Raw, and he went backstage, you know, to get some help, and he went to the trainer's room, Doc Amon, and seen him, and finally Demon Kane came out. So these two are two different people, and I don't understand where everybody's getting off and saying there's a, you know, how is it possible? I think they're going to have a lot of trouble, you know, at Hell in a Cell in 2 weeks. A lot of trouble.
Let me ask you something. What makes you think, unless you're smoking some kind of them funny cigarettes again, that there is two different
people? Last time I partied with Snoop Dogg was like 5 months ago.
I'm sure you did. What makes you think that that's a possibility that there are two different people? There may be two different personalities. I'll give you that. But it's the same person. You gotta quit hanging around people that smoke funny cigarettes, because obviously you're taking in the fumes. Don't inhale.
I have no clue. You know, I just don't understand, because I don't see what you're seeing.
But that is a stipulation.
You know,
that is a stipulation given by Stephanie McMahon.
You need to be a part of a Hollywood, you know, story creator team, because you have amazing ideas. Like, you know, you should be a part of the creative team for The Flash, which made its debut earlier, not debut, it's season 2 premiere earlier tonight on the CW. I mean, you have some great ideas, this Demon Kane guy, you know? Awesome ideas.
Anyway, I digress. So, Kane actually gets his title match, and we'll see. I mean, can Kane actually win the big one and have one good title run with Seth Rollins, or is Seth Rollins going to continue the role he's been on, and by escaping by the skin of his teeth yet again, and coming out the victor and going on to Survivor Series or whatever they have to show for him there. But I have a feeling, you know, Kane is going to continue to be a pain for Seth, at least leading into Hell in a Cell. This is not over. So,
well, you know, Seth Rollins is such a great WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He is amazing at what he does, and at Hell in a Cell, you know, you always have your demons, right? Sure. That's what it says on Kane's poster in his dressing room. Always search out those demons. Everybody has a demon, right? Those demons that are inside of you. I mean, I'm sure you have a few with Felix, with those, you know, you're still moving on in that fitness world. But Hell in a Cell is 2 weeks away, and I have to say, Corporate Kane, you know, Glenn, we're going to have to speak about this, because this is not right. Stephanie McMahon has made a bad decision, and it's one that needs to be reversed as soon as possible.
It's not going to be, so we'll see where that goes.
How do you know? You don't have any power. You live in California.
What does that mean? California's got more power than you think, so. Anyway, that being said, we'll go ahead and start to think about what we're going to do, what we're going to see next week, or even going forward with Monday Night Raw. Do you think that we'll see the return of The Undertaker to make any kind of response? Do you think he'll keep him off TV?
You know, I don't know if there's much that needs to be said. I mean, we understand what's going on.
No.
We understand that Brock Lesnar does not like The Undertaker. I mean, we've seen it a few months back before SummerSlam. They were kicking each other's cinder bottoms across the entire, you know, arena. And we know that they don't have a loss for, you know, a love loss. I got to tell you that.
No, they sure don't. Will the Divas division continue to crumble under Team PCB, and will it be enough to allow the Bella Empire to come back in and reclaim their gold? I guess we'll find out.
Look, the Bella Empire has been there they're still there. Their kingdom is just magnificent.
No.
They're gonna.
Don't you mean queendom?
Yeah, queendom. Exactly. You know what? You gave me a better word to use. For lack of a better word, queendom. That's it. Their queendom is one that only people of their stature get to enter in. And Nikki and Brie are two of the most. You know what? I'm not going to say two of the best. They are the greatest women's wrestlers in history. True and remarkable. I mean, the Bella brand is it's on the top of the world right now. And if you don't understand that, if you don't see that, then you need to go take a trip to the optometrist, down the street, Dr. Coleman. I'm sure he's going to like to see you.
There's
Make
nothing
an
wrong with
appointment.
my feet. There's nothing wrong with my feet.
Your feet. I said your eyes.
Well, isn't an optometrist for your feet?
Google has the answer, Google has the answer.
I was waiting for you to say, why don't you stop? I did a little role reversal on you.
Get some glasses.
Well, we're going to go ahead and bring things to a close. We do apologize for our listeners out there who were anticipating Vinny to come on the show. We'll have to get him on another time. Scheduling conflict, maybe time constraint. Whatever the case may be, we apologize for the inconvenience. Nate will be back next week. Will Austin? I guess only time will tell.
I love
Pretty
Nate.
sure
Nate is such a great guy.
I'm not saying that you don't like him. I'm just saying that
me and
I
him
don't know
are
if
brothers.
you're going to be around.
Me and him are brothers from another mother, like me and Kanye and Eminem. I mean, chilling back in the day like Gillen. You know what I'm saying?
Don't make me call Saul.
Who?
Don't make me call Saul.
Saul Goodman?
No. I'm talking about the guy that called in last week.
Oh, Saul. Oh, okay, that guy. I don't even know. He is.
Oh, I wish you would have called.
Another planet.
But anyway, next week, obviously, as I mentioned, we got the triple header with Rudy Boy. We got Luke Hawks and Danny Cage all under the same show roof. We've got this Thursday. We've got WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov and Cauliflower Alley member Morgan Dollar coming to the show for Thursday night. I'm not sure what the Kings of Sports are up to, but I know they're going to be having some fun on their show.
They're
Make
Kings,
sure you check us out on pipebombradio.net to find out what we're doing on all of our social media. And as far as our guests go for the month of October, stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun for the month of October. Any final words, Austin, before we sign out of here?
I don't have any final words. I believe Halloween is right around the corner. I know that I'm always ready, willing, and able, by my door, handing out, those chocolate candies to the children that walk my street.
Okay. Well, then I guess it'll be a spectacular month of October for all of us here at Pipe Bomb Radio. In the meantime, once again, hopefully you guys have enjoyed our show tonight, our breakdown of Monday Night Raw, not to mention topics that we brought up. We did have some callers call in. We apologize we weren't able to get to you right away. We usually do calls at the end of the show. But that being said, tune in next Tuesday night.
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Are you stealing my line?
I thought that
line stealer.
Well, I think I say better anyway.
I don't know about all that.
No, I gave it to Casey Kasem. I'm the one that gave it to Casey Kasem quite some time ago.
Okay.
Me and him were really good friends.
Since when? The man has died.
Yeah, we were really good friends in the past. I gave him that line. He stole it from me.
Okay. As Austin was
I'll
trying
let you use it tonight.
to insinuate. All right, well, thanks for hanging in there with me, Austin.
It's
Tune
been
in next
fantastic.
Tuesday night, guys. Tune in next Tuesday for a very explosive Pipe Bomb Radio. On behalf of Austin, myself, Nate, who is gone for the week, we are Pipe Bomb Radio saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night, boss Felix. Good night, Felix.